Yeah, I've got a Blue Yeti microphone right here.
Nice work. And we should be live. Let me go ahead and see. Yes, we are in fact live. Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest, LuckyKennedy.
Hello.
Hello, LuckyKennedy. And today we are going to be back with some more Godzilla, specifically Terror of Godzilla, which is a comic book adaptation of the 1984 Return of Godzilla film, or Godzilla 1984, aka Godzilla 1985. This movie has gone through multiple names, and there's multiple versions of it.
Yep.
Including multiple English dubs, for the record. So...
Jeez, and I thought Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind was complicated.
It gets even more complicated when you realize that the various versions have some rather significant changes because context. Diamond Skeleton says, hello, Rexus here. Welcome to the stream, Rexus. Because, okay, so in the original, so the 1985 dub, which was the first dub that Western audiences got.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with that one.
So you're familiar with...
Yeah, the New World Pictures, and they added scenes and whatnot.
And also, of course, the plot changes with regards to how the Soviets are depicted.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So, yeah. And then, yeah. So, like I said, some significant differences between the various versions of the film. I would say that all of the versions are worth watching and for their own reasons, but I digress. Before we get started on that, though, I wanted to point out an issue that I've been having with YouTube. Now, it was an issue with just shorts videos earlier, but it appears to have started impacting regular videos as well, because you saw there, just as I switched there, it said that I couldn't do the stream. For whatever reason, YouTube's been doing a thing where I try to upload a video like a short, or in this case, a stream, and the first time I try, it'll actually say, oh, sorry, we can't actually do that. But then I open it up somewhere else and it works just fine. So, given YouTube being YouTube and this being a consistent problem, I have to wonder if that isn't another case of YouTube trying to screw with the channel.
Either way, the people running on YouTube are the definition of incompetent.
Yes, they are. Johnny O'Malley says, hello everyone, Johnny's here. But yeah, that's another problem I've been having. YouTube has been telling me, oh, you can't actually upload this, or you can't do this, you can't start this stream because reasons, and then I just create a new link and or just go to another tab and it works perfectly fine. Funny how that works. Johnny says, YouTube never ceases to surprise me by how much they can fuck things up. Yeah. So, with all of that said, let's actually get into the comic. This is issue number 2 of Terror of Godzilla. Like I said, this is a comic book adaptation of the 1984 film. Although I've already noticed a few differences in the writing, but...
Yeah, like, adaptations of both comics and, adaptations of movies to comics to film, from, comics to books usually use earlier drafts of the screenplay.
Makes sense. There's a couple of games I can point to where I think that might be the case as well. Mm-hmm. This is closer. This is reasonably close, but some of the characters are depicted differently. Then again, they are depicted differently in various iterations between the 1984 and 1985 versions. So, yeah. Diamond Skeleton says, is YouTube acting R-word I can't say on YouTube even though I have autism? Either that or they're just downright evil and just are doing that as a desperate attempt to prevent me from uploading. Who knows?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Anyways, Terror of Godzilla, written and illustrated by Kazuisha Iwata. English version by Mike Richardson and Randy Stradley. Dan McKinnon and retouched by Jim Bradrick. Arthur Adams, colored by Chris Challoner, and separations by Dark Horse Digital. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Meanwhile, the official residence of the Prime Minister of Japan. Jesus Christ, I botched that.
Prime Minister! We wouldn't know unless we were told in the text there that this was the Prime Minister's residence, and the door said Prime Minister. And I think this guy might be the prime minister because it mentions it again. This is the prime minister.
With all the subtlety of a brick through a plate glass window.
I can't believe this. A swarm of giant insects? The monster alive? Seki Mitomaru, the prime minister.
That's 3.
Yeah?
Okay.
Is someone going to mention that he's the prime minister in dialogue? Please tell me that is going to be the case. Can we go for 4 more?
I'm gonna die laughing. Okay, I'll be the mustachioed individual.
Ah, the professor. All right.
I suspect its appearance is tied to the Daikoku Island eruption 3 months ago.
But why did the monster appear again? Why now?
Oh, fuck me! God damn it. Oh, that dialogue. I believe the giant insects found on the on the ship of the 5th Yahatamuru are descendants of sea lice, or other parasites that once lived on the monster, mutated no doubt by generations of exposure to the creature's radioactivity.
Professor Hayashida, I know your reputation, but...
I'm afraid everything I told you is true.
Do you think that it might have something to do with the disappearance of the Russian submarine the other day?
It's quite possible.
If the
Likely,
All right, sorry. Yeah, that's you still.
Likely, in fact.
If the monster, if it's the same one, that the disaster that occurred 30 years ago could be repeated.
Prime Minister, I have no doubt this is the same creature, Godzilla.
And I have no doubt that this is, in fact, the Prime Minister. Wait, I might have slightly more doubt. Can we get more confirmation on that?
Yeah.
Then we face a menace with the power to level our nation.
But even if... Okay, let me try that again. But even if it is the same monster, it's not certainly that... It's not a certainty that it will ever invade Japan. I'm not going to try and do that voice all the way.
We can't start a panic. I want a complete news blackout concerning this situation.
Yes, sir. I'll see to it immediately.
The head offices of the Tokyo Star.
This is ridiculous.
I believe that's your character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Finally, I get another shot at the front page, and you spike my story. I demand to know why.
Goro?
Seiji, your editor-in-chief maybe can tell me.
The government has put a lid on any information related to your story. They've already gagged the Maritime Safety Agency and the National Police Agency. They're afraid your story about Akamura's monster may cause a panic. The Star has no choice but to go along with the news blackout. Now, I have my orders, and you have yours. No story.
But the people have a right to know.
Goro, calm down. You'll do as you're told, just like the rest of us. Haven't you learned anything from your last 2 demotions?
I'm a reporter, and I know.
Less than you think, Goro. We didn't back down for nothing. The Star made a deal with the government. It's your scoop, and they've agreed to allow you an exclusive. There's no biophysicist the government's consulting. There's a biophysicist the government's consulting about Akamura's monster, a Professor Hayashida.
Professor Hayashida?
You know him, do you?
Play it cool, Goro. Well, I met him once.
Good. Then it will be easy for you to talk to him. Our sources tell us that this news blackout is partially his responsibility. My guess is that if anyone knows anything, he's the man. Find out what he knows. Let me read some comments here. Johnny O'Malley says, I, the Prime Minister, believe that my country, of which I am the Prime Minister, is being threatened again by Gojira, whom I, the Prime Minister, worry is threatening the nation I'm the Prime Minister of. My review of this is probably going to be like that one IGN review, only instead of too much water, it's going to be too much Prime Minister.
Jesus Christ. That's just great.
Anything you dig up will have to keep quiet, but sooner or later the government will have to break the silence. When they do, we'll be a jump ahead of the other papers. Listen to him, Goro. This story could make you a first-string reporter again. Well, do you want the assignment?
Yes, sir! The Shinjuku section of Tokyo.
Ding!
Wow, this is impressive. I had no idea the professor was this well connected. Hayashida Biophysical Research Institute. Wait. There he is. Oh god, that's my character. Shit. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh god, I'm literally gonna be talking to myself. Oh, it's you. Okay. My name's Goro Maki, Professor. I'm a reporter with the Tokyo Star. I'm the one who persuaded the police to call you about the hospital, about Mr. Onamura's sighting, I heard. I heard you investigated the unusual occurrences. So you're the one. I'm grateful that you thought what I've surmised from Mr. Okimura. Okay, it's Okimura. Okimura's story. May not be good news. Oh. I surmised from Mr. Onamura's story that it may not be good news. English, for the love of fuck. I suck at it for some reason. I heard you had something to do with the news blackout? Is this really that serious? Oh my god. Kill me now. Serious? Yes, I would say so. But let me give you the story from the beginning. Huh? You're giving me a story just like that? That's why you're here, isn't it? Besides, you're the only one who brought this to my attention. In a sense, I owe you. Here, look at this and tell me how serious do you think the situation is. Do you understand the reason for the blackout? Yes. But how, after so many years? Yes, that photo is 30 years old. But the Yamahata Muru incident and other recent events have convinced me that the creature has returned. You and the government are afraid of starting a panic. But what if the monster returns? What if it comes onto land again? There would be, of course, massive destruction. Perhaps you're mistaken. Maybe there's some other explanation. No, Akimura's living mountain is the same creature that walked Japan 30 years ago. Call it intuition or instinct, but I know it's hit. But I know it is him. Oh my god, I'm gonna die, aren't I?
If you want, I could take over one of these characters.
Yes,
briefly.
please. I did not know this was gonna happen.
All right.
I've never seen the film.
I have, so I knew that this part was here for a bit. But if I remember correctly, originally it was the story that the news agency told him it's because Godzilla, and then he learns a bit more from the professor here. But anyways, I can do this. So you're too young to remember, but many of my generation were orphaned by the monster's rampage. There are others, like myself, who are haunted by the memory of that day.
And that's the reason you've become such an expert on the monster.
Yes, my hatred of him and my desire for vengeance possessed me. At first.
At first.
Now I see him differently. I even feel a certain intimacy toward him. I no longer feel he is an enemy of mankind. Yeah, I can see the weirded out look on this guy's face too a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, okay, what is this guy smoking? Excuse me. I brought coffee for you and your guest, Professor. I hope you like it black. Just like my man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was too easy.
I could make a meme image out of that.
Yeah. It's too easy.
Something wrong with her, Mr. Mackey?
It's just that I've seen her before. What's her relationship to Alchemira?
She's his sister.
Does she know what happened to her brother?
No, she has no idea he was returned. News reports indicated the 5th Yahata Maru went down with all hands. The government has ordered me to remain silent about it.
So she believes her brother died along with the rest of the crew. Here she comes. Oh no, not this again. Hi, nice to see you. Are you Nakoto Okimura's... Yeah, that's close enough. I heard you were Mr. Okimura's sister. Yes. Were you a friend of my brother's? You mean my brother's alive? Not too loud, it's kind of a secret. Where is he? Can you take me to him? I don't know, he's being isolated because he saw something, very unusual. The government's afraid that if his story gets out, it could create a panic. I don't necessarily agree with them, but... Please, you must take me to him. Well, this news blackout is wrong. If anyone has the right to know the full story, it's you. The government shouldn't stand between a brother and a sister. Yeah, I'm sorry. I swear the jokes write themselves. Alright, I'll take you to him. He's in the police hospital in... Fuck that, I'm not saying that. Idabashi? Mr. Maki, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Maki! Flash, flash. This is such an emotional meeting. You two should look happier. Come on, give me a smile. How dare you? You have no respect for a family's privacy. Don't worry. It won't be in the papers for a while. You use me just to get material for your story?
Yeah, that does. The thing is, that happens in the 1984 film, but that was edited out of the 1985 film. Curious that the North American version decided not to make reporters look like, well, reporters. With all the negative connotations that comes with that, but I digress.
Meanwhile, at the Inham nuclear power plant in Shizuoka. Yeah.
Vroom. Vroom. Vroom.
Is that an earthquake?
What is it?
Sound the alarm!
Reet. I like how they didn't notice Godzilla. To be fair, though, that is in the movie.
Yeah. Like, he literally walks up to their door and he's like, "Sup, bitches?"
The guy was just, in the movie it's actually slightly sillier because...
Institute.
Huh? Oh, right.
Oh, I just said the name on the
I was going to say, in the movie it's even slightly sillier because in the movie, the guy's just walking, I guess, out to the parking lot, and he just notices Godzilla's foot as it's right in front of him. You know, creating a massive crater in the parking lot, and he only then just looks up and actually sees it.
Bruh. Oh, God.
Hayashida's Biophysics Research Institute. I guess I can keep voicing the professor to...
Yeah, I'm like juggling like 3 characters at this point now.
I know.
Dear God.
You seem to have recovered your health, Mr. Akamura.
I feel much better now that I'm out of the hospital. I'm glad they decided to let you out. Maybe the government's human after all. About that picture. Ring.
Mr. Akamura, Godzilla has appeared on land. He's at the nuclear plant in Shizuoka.
Then it's true. Let's go! There it is. My God. That's it. That's the creature I saw. When you said living mountain, you were right. I never imagined anything so big.
The jokes continue to write themselves.
Like, dear. It's tearing into the reactor core.
Yes, Godzilla is seeking radioactivity. He feeds on it.
Damn monster. Flash, flash, flash. What is he really, Professor? Most people think Godzilla is a dinosaur or some animal mutated by radioactivity.
An animal like Godzilla has never existed in the history of the Earth. Whatever Godzilla is, he's one of a kind. He behaves according to his own instincts. I don't believe he is aggressive, but with his huge size, a disaster inevitably results when he comes into contact with humans. Rather than comparing him to an animal, you should think of Godzilla as a force of nature, like an earthquake or a hurricane.
You! Keep back! It's dangerous here!
Flash, flash, flash.
Man just does not give a shit. Watch out! You're making him angry! What? Goro! I'm gonna be crushed! He stopped. Oh, see. Wait, what's that One Flock of Seagulls song?
Mine.
What's happening? He's turning. He's headed back to the sea. Why did he stop like that?
I wonder.
This is the biggest news story of the century. What have I gotten myself into? The art's pretty good, though.
Yep.
Okay, I'll let you handle the news reporter guy.
The event all Japan has dreaded is the lead story tonight. After 30 years, Godzilla has returned. This evening, at the Ihama nuclear power plant was destroyed by the monster as it absorbed the radioactive substances from the reactor. After the attack, the monster returned to the sea, but government sources warn that other appearance by the creature is likely, and military forces have begun 24-hour patrols of locations likely to suffer attacks by the monster. The government has also announced that it will establish an emergency headquarters to cope with the situation and defend Japan from Godzilla.
Godzilla, can the military stop
Monster
Godzilla alive? Sorry.
Yep. Godzilla returns. Roll credits. Monster on the rampage. Can he be stopped?
Nuclear power plant destroyed. Fatality.
Godzilla alive. Monster returns. Nuclear plant destroyed.
Oh, we already read that.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Minister, we've received an emergency correspondence from the USA and Russia. Both governments have concluded that nuclear bombs are the only weapon effective against Godzilla. They're requesting our permission to let them use them.
Nuclear weapons in Japan? Are they out of their minds?
Sir, Russia is probably considering revenge for the submarine that Godzilla destroyed.
I don't care what their motives are. I will never permit the use of nuclear weapons in Japan. Also, we got to be informed that he is in fact the Prime Minister yet again.
Shut.
We don't need help from the Americans or the Russians. We already possess the weapon that can destroy Godzilla. Find out what the weapon is next issue. I kind of already know what it is because I've seen the movies, but... Comic Base, the ultimate software for people who love comics. Virus. So the very first thing we see from this program is a virus.
That fills me with so much confidence. That just fills me with the most confidence in Dark Horse for not, filling my computer with malware.
When you need a great collection, turn to a great collector's system. Comic Base, the multimedia price guide and encyclopedia combined with a professional, easy-to-use database for tracking your collection. Comic Base makes it a breeze to inventory your comics, including their conditions, values, and what you paid for them, and what you expect to sell them for. With just a few clicks, you'll be able to see what your collection is worth, or print up price labels, title reports, checklists, and other reports. To get you started, we've included notes and pricing information on over 100,000 comics, from Golden Age greats to today's critically acclaimed independents. Select any comic and you'll instantly get detailed information about that issue, as well as graph. On top of this, Comic Base built-in comic encyclopedia comes loaded with write-ups, thousands of titles, along with full-color cover art and clips from comic-related movies. So you can get free shots of Barbed Wire the film. Okay then.
Probably compressed all shit though.
Yep. Comic Base can also automatically find the first appearances, origin stories, work by favorite artists and writers, and other special issues. Find out for yourself why expert comic book collectors prefer Comic Base. Only $129 plus shipping. God damn.
What the fuck? Like 129 shipping? Jesus Christ, I can use Wikipedia for free. I can use the internet for mostly free. Dear God. That is... That nearly killed me.
Only $129 in 1990
only.
Stunt money.
Like, that probably increased, like, with inflation.
Oh.
Finish line. Profile. Chris Warner, editor. Question. If the script states that an M1A1 tank weighs 63 tons, the editor should ask, is that right? It is, by the way. And that, oh my God, I swear to God, despite being born English, I struggle with it now.
I think we could go ahead and call it.
Yeah, like that is just word soup, and it's not entertaining. Like say the last one.
So we're getting another advertisement for the Lithograph series, and that is it. So, thoughts on this particular comic?
It's pretty good so far.
Agreed.
Then again, I haven't seen the film, but I could see this as a good substitute for it.
The film, both versions of the film are, like I said, worth watching. It follows the story close enough, I think.
Yeah.
It shows the reporter for being the story-focused scumbag that he is.
Which all reporters are, let's be real.
Well, he's really only... Okay, so I should mention that he's, again, only really depicted as that in the 1984 version. The 85 version, they completely got rid of that subtext. Unfortunately, but I digress.
You think they want to keep that in for a little spice?
No, apparently not.
How long is the 85 version? Like, must be like an hour and a half, because New World had a nasty little habit of cutting up foreign films. Like they cut up Galaxy Express 99 from its near almost 2.5 hour runtime, I believe, down to an hour and a half.
Okay, so to be fair, I think they're both similar in length. The 1984 version, the original version, is 103 minutes. Now the 1985 thing, which technically does only have the 1984 stats. So because it has the 1984 stats, claims it's 104 minutes, but I don't, or 103. But I don't necessarily believe that is true for the 1985 version. But it is still roughly similar, I think. Because you have to remember, they added in a lot of... they took away a lot of scenes, but they also added in a whole bunch because you have Mr. Martin, who in the original film was known as Steve Martin, but they cut it down because by the 1980s, it turns out there was a Steve Martin that most people knew about.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember hearing about that.
So, yeah. I know there's a big scene in the middle about how the debate that the U.S. and the Russians have with regards to the whole nuclear weapon use in Japan that is much extended in the 84 version as opposed to the 85 version. And again, some of the scenes have also been... Some of the scenes are more played out in the 1984 version, but again, you have the new scenes in the 1985 version, so there you go.
So it's like a weird balance sort of thing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, but yeah, I think this is a pretty decent comic and a pretty decent comic book adaptation of a film, to say the very least.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely better than a lot of comic book adaptations I've read. Some can go into really wild territory. The Marvel, I think it's the Marvel Comics adaptation of the 1986 Transformers movie. They had multiple scrapped deaths in the film that were revised for the, film version. Like, say, Optimus dying not because of Hot Rod, but just succumbing to his wounds, and Ultra Magnus getting, how the Roman style of tearing people apart?
Oh, you mean the Bloody Eagle or Blood Eagle?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, he had that happen to him.
Ouch.
Yeah. But here's the weird thing. It makes more sense, and it makes more sense for that to happen in the movie. And it's, more plausible that he got put back together as, say, Optimus, who just fucking dies.
Johnny O'Malley says this adaptation is something alright. Yeah. I will say this, it does add more context to things like the ancient lice that are on Godzilla, which were pretty much just presented in the films and then never really talked about again, never really explained what they were. This does at least explain what they are and their importance.
Yeah.
So that is a good little touch, I think. It doesn't really show the horror elements with the sea lice that the original films did, because the original films kind of made it almost look like a little bit of a slasher film with those sea lice thing, because they were
Mm-hmm.
because most of the screw is just
Completely and utterly
husks. Yeah.
eviscerated.
hmm
Uh,
So, which was a very different tone from the rest of the movie. Although the rest of the movie was still pretty dark, and it's worth watching definitely. But anyways, yeah, is it worth reading this comic? Yeah, sure. Especially even if you're familiar with the movies, then this will at least add additional context to stuff within the movies. It also
mm,
does expand a bit upon the character being the reporter character because, well,
yeah,
he as a character, they do kind of tone it down a little bit, even the '84 version as opposed to this one. How obsessed he is with getting his
the good
story out.
scoop.
Yeah, the good scoop as he's constantly flashing his camera at Godzilla, pissing off Godzilla in the process.
Mm.
Something that,
Then-
to be fair, was established as a thing even in the 1954 film.
Yeah, I need to watch the original Godzilla film. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, there's a bit where he eats an entire tower full of reporters because they were flashing their cameras at him.
Idiots.
To be fair, one of the reporters actually went out like a boss, saying, actually just doing a radio report and just reporting live as he's about to get eaten completely. Godzilla is the monster has put its teeth around the tower. I think this is it. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. As it gets eaten, and then the whole tower collapses.
Mm.
To be fair, that guy went out like a Chad.
Yeah, he kept the people informed till the bitter end. He's the type of reporters would strive to be. Motherfuckers who are willing to die for their story.
That's what reporters should be.
Yeah,
Instead, we get someone mislabeled me on the internet. Here's his home address.
oh, we're totally gonna misrepresent this person. Like, we're not gonna actually put effort into researching if these allegations are true. Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Like, I'm not, like, I am completely on the fence of politics in general. Like, but it's like, journalists are stupid. Like, I think that's what we can all agree on. Like, they are just stupid motherfuckers.
I like how SimCity 4, when you could take over a reporter helicopter and use the reporter button, they made sure the reporter got the most moronic sounding voice possible.
Oh god.
Like you could hear the wind blowing between the guy's ears because there was just nothing there to stop it.
Yeah, you could probably see a for rent sign in his ear. Or a open vacancy.
Johnny O'Malley says, "That's a lot of reporters!" Thumbs up if you get this joke. I do indeed.
I unfortunately don't.
It is a reference for Kung Pao Enter the Fist, which is a parody of kung fu movies from East Asia.
Oh, okay.
They actually took footage from an old public domain kung fu film, green screened the director into it as his own self-insert character, and just went wild with redubbing it for comedic effect.
Okay, that just sounds amazing.
Like, character is constantly talking to him, and they redubbed it to say, "You'll never make it. You'll never make it. Can't you see you can't make it?" And they just grabs over, says something, and from if you read lips, it sounds like it looks like he's saying, "I'm somebody's mama," but they dubbed it so he instead says, "I implore you to reconsider." Okay.
oh, oh god. You know the Take Him to Detroit meme?
Yeah.
From the what was that movie called? Kentucky Fried Movie. I think that's it. Yeah, it was done by the same people who did Airplane.
Oh,
And
I
it
know.
had, like, this
Wait. Real quick. Johnny O'Malley says, "No, that's not what I was doing, but I like that." But okay, I now know what he's doing.
Okay.
He was making fun of the Roland Emmerich movie.
Oh.
That's a lot of fish.
Oh, fuck that movie.
Yeah. See, I thought he was making fun of Kung Pao, which I guess kind of is appropriate, because there's a character that shouts his lines when the main character goes to buy nuts. He goes, "That's a lot of nuts!" As he's screaming into the microphone. "That'll be $5, baby!"
That's, oh my god, that sounds so dirty. That's a lot of nuts. I, that is also medically concerning if someone has a lot of nuts.
Like I said, he just went over to his shop to buy nuts. So,
Yeah.
Johnny Mellis says, I was referencing that's a lot of fish, except Godzilla doesn't eat fish. Yes, you are correct. Godzilla doesn't eat fish. Zilla does. And I love how even the Japanese were in on the joke with regards to making fun of Zilla as much as possible.
Oh,
Buying the rights to him and putting him in Godzilla Final Wars.
Only for him to get beaten. Yeah, when Godzilla takes care of him, like, not even 10 seconds.
They even went out of their way to give Zilla that late 90s, as much of a shitty look as possible with the late 90s CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Except this film came out in the mid-2000s, and so the 90s it makes it look even worse. No, 2004. Because it was meant for the 50th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I think I know that is because of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Like, 2004 is going to be, like, the 50th anniversary of Godzilla. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Fucking great game, by the way. Fucking amazing.
Yep, just picked up the Steam version.
You're in luck.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot eventually, but I think we're in a good spot to go ahead and call it. So, oh yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, not really. That was pretty good.
All right. Well, I think it's a good time to go ahead and call it. So yeah, hope to. This has been Ace.
And this is LuckyKennedy.
Pleasure to have you on board, LuckyKennedy.
My pleasure.
And of course, we both hope to see you all again soon. Until then, take care. Ace out.
If I'm available, I'm available.